with the Fifth Journey, and welcome to the 30-day arm and leg challenge. This is kind of similar to the 30-day squat challenge, but instead of doing 100 squats or different types of squats each day, I went ahead and added arms. So think about it more of upper body and lower body, because there are a couple of exercises that we'll do with your back and not just your arms. So the goal is to do this each day for 30 days. Don't beat yourself up if you don't get all 100 legs in and 50 arms in. Just do the absolute best you can. So I'm going to have this kind of pre-video to give you an idea of what to expect each day with a little bit of a breakdown. And there is a spreadsheet that I have a PDF ready for you to go. So if you'd rather kind of go on your own or do it at a later time, then you can watch these, get an idea of what each exercise is, and then follow along with that sheet. So, and then after this, I'll have 1 through 30, and we'll do each of them, and you can do them with me. So, and I'll be doing them, and I'll be breathing hard and working out with you too. Just do the absolute best you can. So with the first day, I'm going to kind of explain it here in this one, and then each day I'll explain it as you go. So if you want to skip the rest of this video, once you get past that, then you can do that and just start and ready to go on day 1. But the biggest thing is do the best you can. And if you want to pick this up again some other time, then jump back to this series of videos and give it a go. So again, it is 100 legs and 50 arms. So what I've done is I've done 50 legs and then split it with 25 of the arms, go back to the legs, and then go back to the arms to finish up. And each one maybe will take you 10 minutes or so to finish, but it is a good workout for sure. It may take you a little bit longer, maybe be able to go a little bit faster. And you know, if you need to slow down the speed of the video, you can definitely do that too if I'm going too fast, or go at your own pace. Just do whatever's best for you. And there's no weights involved, it's your own body. So some days will definitely be harder and some days will definitely be easier. So each one is different. You're not going to repeat any of the exercises with this. So if you find some favorites that you like, or there's some that you can't do, make modifications that you need to. There's going to be some things that I have to do a little bit differently. And if you want to go a little bit deeper into an exercise or maybe light it up a little bit, you can definitely do that. So let's go ahead and get started. Day 1 is the basic squat with regular push-ups. So when you do a basic squat, really with anything with legs, is you want to have your weight back. So if you're one of my dancers and I'm like, get on the balls of your feet, you don't want to do this. You want to have your weight back on your heels, and you want to sit back like you're in a chair. You don't ever want those knees going over the fronts of your feet. So if you're just learning to do a squat, you want to think about having your chest up. So if you need to put your arms up here, like you're against a wall, then you can definitely do that, and that might help you. I usually keep my hands here to remind me to keep everything up. So with your feet about hip width or sit bone distance apart, you're going to have your knees in line with the fronts of your feet, with your toes, and you're going to sit back like you're going to sit in a chair. So hands here or hands up, whatever you need to do. You're going to sit back like you're sitting in a chair. The weight is on your heels, and your toes, or excuse me, your knees are not going over your toes. So you're going to sit back like you're sitting in a chair. What I like to do to get the right depth in this particular squat is I go down until my elbows touch my knees, my chest is up, and then I come back up. So you want to make sure that you're sitting back in that chair and then coming up. And you're pressing in with your heels to come up, squeezing with your seat. Nothing is going on here. You also don't want to think about leaning back with a total flat back. There's some different exercises. But you're relaxed here, chest is up, and I'm using here and I'm squeezing right there to come up. So that's the basic squat. The arms with day 1 is a regular push-up. So you're going to have your hands out from your chest, out from your shoulders, and pushing out. From there you can do it from a straight plank, or you can do it from your knees. If you're going to do it from a plank, hands are out from your shoulders. You can turn them in slightly if you need to. Make sure everything is in line so you can see my stomach. So I'm going to come up on my toes, and you want to have that nice straight line. Head is nice and long and lifted. If you're going to go from your knees, make sure that you pick your feet up. So if you're down here, you can feel that weight on top of your kneecaps. So pick them up, you can cross them, and then you're going to go down as far as you can, and then pressing up. You obviously won't hold it down there, but make sure that you have proper form while you're doing these. Now personally, I can do these, but I have much greater movement, range of movement, when I'm on my knees. Okay, So going on to day 2, mark these off so I don't skip any, is a narrow squat or a ski squat. So it is very similar, but this one you're not going to have the depth. So your feet are together. So pretend you're skiing. So my feet are together. My knees are going to be going, tracking right over my toes. Hands are up again. And then I'm going to go down as far as I can without losing my form or my feet, losing where my feet are, and then coming up. You won't be able to go down as far. The only way to go down any farther than that is if I lose my form, okay? So it's an inner thigh workout too, because I'm squeezing my knees together, and then I'm squeezing right here to come up. All right, back fly. So you're going to put your feet about sit bone distance apart. I'm going to come at an angle so I don't hit the wall. You're going to go down into just a little bit of a bend. I'm going to come forward with a flat back. Arms are nice and rounded, so pretend you're holding weights, and you're going to open your arms to the sides. So you're working your shoulders right through there. So you're just going to lift and close, lift and lower, just like that. So keeping everything in line here. Make sure you're not rounded, make sure you're not arching, because that will help protect that back, okay? Going on to second plies. So second plie is definitely a ballet term. You want to make sure that your feet are really, really wide, nice and wide. You don't want them too narrow, because if you're doing a deep plie, like if you're in ballet, your feet are going to go, your knees are going to go over your toes. I don't want that for this. So really, really wide. My feet are turned comfortably out. So my toes are at an angle. I'm not totally turned out. So in your frame of body with your hips, you're going to go straight down. So I'm not sitting back like a sumo squat. I'm going straight down. My pelvis is neutral. My tailbone's going to go straight down. And I'm a plie. My knees are going to go over my toes and then come up. Plie. Squeeze with those inner thighs and come up. So you can have your hands out. You can put them on your hips. Whatever works best for you. So straight down. And then squeezing your seat, squeezing your inner thighs to come up. Okay, going on to downward dog push up. So this one, you're going to go into kind of a modified downward dog position. Doesn't matter really how you get into it right now, because we're not doing yoga right now. So downward dog, you want to think about having your tailbone to the sky and your head in line. I'm going to go ahead and turn my palms in. Now it's not a true downward dog. So I'm going to have my head in line. I'm going to push up from there. So this is a much different angle for those shoulders. So it's almost like doing an overhead press, but you're using your own body weight and gravity as your weight on there. So the next one is a releve pulse, parallel. So if you need to hold onto the wall, hold onto a countertop, whatever you need to do. So releve means to rise onto the balls of your feet. So they're going to be parallel, so your legs are going to be together, nice and tall. Now this one, your feet, your ankles are acting as a hinge. So your knees will go forward and it will not hurt you. So from here, your body is going to go straight up and down, and your knees are going to go forward and then up. So see, I have that hinge there. I'm not hurting anything in my back. So this is what I want you to do with this one, okay? So I'm just plieing and then coming up, plieing and coming up. Now, depending on how you're made, there may be a gap there. If you want a little bit more of an intense workout, you can put a tennis ball there, or you can squeeze your knees together and you'll get a really intense workout with those inner thighs. Okay, and then a front row. So hands in front of you with this one. Nice comfortable position. You're just gonna lift up and then down. Lift up, nice and tall. Lift up and then down. Okay. Moving right along, we're on to day 5. This is a figure 4 squat. So figure 4 is typically a stretch that you do. So if you need to hold onto a wall, counter, you can do that. So you're going to cross one leg over the other and make sure it's not your foot, because you don't want to sickle your foot. So it's right here. Then you're going to squat from there. So the supporting leg needs to be parallel. I'm going to face the side and hold onto the wall. And then you're going to push back, just like that basic squat, and then come up. Push back, and then come up. Try to keep your hips even. Catching my foot on here. So if you need to have your arms out or here, so you're going to push back and then come up. Hips nice and even. So you'll do one leg and then switch on over to the other. The arms that go with that is an overhead tricep press. So we're going to take our hands, elbows up to the sky, elbows are in, clasp your hands like this, or in prayer, and you're just going to lift up from there, really squeezing into the side of your head to engage those triceps. You don't want your elbows out here, because that works something else, okay? So elbows are in, lifting straight up and straight up, okay? Depending on how you're made, you may have to have your hands out. That's totally fine. Single leg warrior, or warrior single leg. This is day 6. This is warrior 3. So hold on to the wall if you need to. Find a nice comfortable position for your supporting leg, and you're going to make that straight line. You can either hold on to something in front of you, or you can just have your hands overhead. If you wobble, that's okay, and I'm wobbling. So for here, I'm going to hold onto the wall just for balance. I'm not gripping it. I'm a plie, and then come up. Now you're not going very deep, because if I go any deeper than this, then I lose my form, okay? So plie, bend your knee, and then come up. Good. The arms that go with this one, chest fly, so laying down. Nice comfortable position. Hands up, you're going to bend them, and then come in. So you can either have your hands up, or you can bend them here, and open and close from there, okay? All right, we're moving right along, guys. Good job. And let's see, day 7, the lunge or split squat, and this is alternating. So I personally prefer to always do my lunges from the back. So unless I'm actually doing walking lunges, but if I'm doing stationary lunges, I always go back. So I press back, and then I come up, I press back, then I come up. Now the reason why I prefer to do that is when you're doing the front ones, when you come forward, it's fine. But when people try to push back, they oftentimes lead with the upper body and not the legs. So when you go back, you're actually using your seat to come up versus trying to push off that way. Because this one, I'm either pushing off that back foot or I'm using my upper body versus the leg, okay? So alternating squats, you can use the wall if you want to. You want to have pretty wide so that when you go down, that knee remains over the heel, and then come up, stepping back, and then coming up. So that will be the alternating lunges. All right, going on with the arms, a tricep push-up. You can use a bench like what I have. You can do it on the ground. Use whatever arm positions you need to. So you're going to have your hands back behind you, and I'm going to have my fingertips facing my seat. Lifting your seat up off the ground, you're just going to bend back and up. Now, I'm bending at the elbows. I'm not lifting my hips. I'm sure you've seen kids do that. So make sure that everything is stationary with the rest of the body, and you're lifting with here. So if you need to move your arms around, if you have weak wrists, you can go up here, or you can even hold on to weights to get your arms up again. Or if you need to use a bench, you can do that as well. All right, day 8, we're going to go back to those wide second plies. We're going to do it with alternating heel raises. So, or one heel raise up the whole time. So when you do your plie, you're going to have one of your heels up. So you can either do this for 50 or 25, or you can alternate each one when you're doing them. So either way. So that's what it means when you're doing the heel raises. So right there. With the arms on day 8, we're going to do an overhead shoulder press. So think about like scarecrow arms or T-post or goal, whatever you want to do there. You're going to lift up and then pull down. So lift up, pull down. Really use energy through there. Don't just go through the motions, because that doesn't do anything. So you want to resist, resist, resist every single time you do it, okay? All right, going on to back to legs for day 9. This is the goblet squat. So you're going to go a little bit wider, and I'm just going to have my hands here again. So it's a wider, deeper squat. So you're going to go down and then coming up. So this is one of those bottom to the ground or whatever version you've heard, where you're going to go wider, so it opens your hips up so you can go deeper into your plie. My elbows come to this insides of my knees. That's where I know where I need to be. My knees are tracking as far over the fronts of my feet as I can. I'm sitting back. My chest is up. So I'm pretty wide here, but I'm parallel. So I'm going to sit back and then pressing up through the heels and through the seat when I come up. So it's like if you're holding on to one of those weights in your arms. The arms that go with this are the tricep dips. So 2 days ago I said tricep push-ups on that one, and I ended up doing tricep dips. So the tricep dips are the ones that are behind, so I'll show you the tricep push-ups really quick. Tricep push-ups, your hands are in, and your elbows come along the sides of your ribs. So coming up, so your hands are straight under from your shoulders, and your elbows are going to graze the sides of your ribs, and then you're going to press up from there, okay? So those are the tricep push-ups. On to day 10. Back to second plies again. This time, both of your feet are going to be in releve. So nice comfortable position, nice and wide. You're going to raise up onto the balls of your feet. Make sure you're using your toes like suction cups. You're pressing your toes into the ground. You're going to plie and then come up. Now make sure when you do this that your ankles don't roll out. I'd much rather you keep your heels down than to try this and roll with your ankles back. Okay, so you really need to protect that. I'm losing my breath. All right, incline push-ups. You can use a bench, use a counter. If you can see this, I hope you can. Well, you can use a wall, do that too, or you can use a window. So you're going to find a comfortable position, and you're going to press into the wall or counter, whatever you're going to do. Like a push-up, so you're going to use a wall. Sorry for the back view. Hands are here, walking back and pressing into the wall. So that, lots of different angles, and the farther down you go, the harder it is. All right, lateral and side lunges for day 11. So from here, you're going to step straight to the side. The leg that stays is going to stay straight. This one is going to bend. So I'm going to step straight to the side, and I'm going to angle this knee as much forward as I can, pressing back in, and then going here. If you need to go a little bit to an angle, you can do that back and forth, okay? So the lunge is here. You're not going to go very deep. Pressing and then back in. Okay. Side raises. So find a comfortable position. You're just going to lift up and straight arms. Lift up, straight arms. Good. Up and straight arms. Those are the side raises. We're on day 12. This is a Bulgarian split lunge. And I'm going to actually move my stuff off of this. Let's use things, I'm going to move things around. You can use a couch, you can use a bench. This is probably going to be a little bit high. So the back leg is going to be up on top of that bench. Now here, I am way too close to that. So I need to be forward. Now if you need to do just regular squats, that's totally fine, or lunges. But I want to find a position so that at the bottom of my squat or my lunge, my knee is where it needs to be. And then I just lift up from there, okay? Lift up, plie, lift up. And then you'll switch legs. All right, let me grab my notes. All right, elbow plank. That's kind of self-explanatory. We know what an elbow plank is. So this one, we're just going to hold. So coming down to your elbows, lifting up. We're probably going to hold it for maybe 30 seconds or so, so we'll count to 30. Making sure everything is in line, the head is in line, navel is pulled in, the seat is in the right spot, not too high and not too low. And we're going to go back to the ground for number 13, day 13. We're going to do bridge ups. So lay back down on your back. You want to have your feet parallel. And the farther out you have your feet, the harder it is. So I'm going to bring it in just a little bit, a few inches from my seat. Hands are down, palms are down. I'm just going to squeeze my seat and lift straight up. Down, lift straight up. Down, and lift straight up. I'm squeezing where my hamstrings connect to my seat to lift up. And I'm actually, if you can see my toes coming off the ground a little bit, I'm pressing my heels into the ground. Now, I don't want you to go any higher than the bottom of your shoulder blades, okay? Because that puts too much pressure on your neck. And for an exercise, you don't need to do that. We're not doing a stretch. We're doing an actual exercise, so you don't need to go any higher than that. Okay, triceps on your side. These are probably the hardest exercise in this whole series. So what you're going to do, take your bottom hand, wrap it around your waist, find a nice comfortable position. Everything is nice and square. Knees are stacked, feet are stacked, hips are stacked. You're going to plant your hand in front of your chest, and you're going to press up from there, right there, okay? And if you need to have a mat, make sure you have one or put something under your hip. So this is probably the hardest one that we do, okay? Try to keep everything in line. Good. All right, we are at jump squats. So with a jump squat, you're going to find a little bit wider than hip width. You're going to do your squat and you're going to jump. Now, if you have ankle problems or foot problems or anything like that, don't do it. Make your own modifications. I'll probably alternate, so I'll go down and do a jump on the second one. So you plie and you jump. Plie, jump, not plie, excuse me, squat and jump. Make sure you're sitting back. Don't lose your form. If this is as far down as you go, that's okay. So what I'll probably do is go down, come up, down, and jump. Down, come up, down, and jump. So you want to do whichever version is best for you. Okay, 14. That was day 14. Back extension. So when I said it's upper body versus arm, so you're going to come back onto our stomachs. I have to do it with my knees bent. I'm kind of losing out on space here. Okay, so back extension. You can have your hands here like you're doing a swan in Pilates. You can put them behind your head. You can put them straight out in front of you or to the sides. So you want to think about lifting out and up and down. So you're using this part of your back. Now, if you feel like you're squeezing here and lifting your lower body, I don't want you to do that because that puts a lot of strain on that lower back. So try to only use the upper back. So I have nothing going on here. My lower body is not moving. All right, coming up. Okay, day number 15 is kind of like a pretzel squat or a extended figure four. So if you want to go back to the figure four, you can. You're not going to go very deep. But I'm going to totally cross my legs and try to wrap this foot around. If you can't do it, that's okay. Just do the best. Hands are in. This is definitely a balancing one. You're going to come down like you're sitting in a chair and then come up. Go down and then come up from there. So if you need to go back to a figure four, you can do that. All right, arms, front raises. So pushing your arms, shoulders down. You're going to lift straight to the front and down. Straight to the front and down. Make sure you're resisting. This is probably one of the easier ones, but make sure you are giving resistance when you're doing the arm motions. Okay, day 16, we're on the second half. So this is a parallel jump squat, in and out. So if you need to do, this is like the jump squats from 2 days ago, if you want to go from there. You're going to start with your feet about hip width apart, and you're going to plie, jump, squat, and squat. So make sure everything is parallel, make sure you're sitting back, weight is on those heels. If you need to do a squat and then a jump, you can do that. So you can go down, up, down, and jump. Down, up, down, and jump. Make sure you're soft, you land with bent knees. Don't ever land with straight knees. Make sure you're sitting back. And tricep kickbacks. So nice comfortable position. You're going to slightly bend at the knees, then forward at the waist. Nice flat back, elbows into your sides. Extend the arms back straight, and then release. So squeeze as hard as you can. Release, squeeze, and release. Nice long lines. And that is the tricep kickback. Okay, day 17, we have a curtsy squat or a curtsy lunge. So feet a little bit wider than hip width. I'm going to take my right foot or left foot, whichever way you're facing, and take it back behind, and then come up, cross it back behind, and come up. I'm making sure that I'm going backwards with my body to protect that foot. Now, personally, I like to turn out my working leg to keep everything in line. So this way everything stays in line with my body. Chest is up, you can have your arms out, hands on your hips, whatever works best for you. And then on the arms, you're going to do arm circles straight out from your sides. So you're going to circle back, or you're going to circle forward. You can do 25 one way, 25 the other way, or alternate what you're going to do there. So arm circles from there. Okay, day 18. So this is a basic squat with a pulse. So feet about hip bone distance apart, and you're going to go down to your squat position and you're going to pulse right there. So you want to think about, actually you can go back and forth. So you want to think about the action on the up, so you squeeze, or you can think about the action being down. So make sure you have a purpose when you're doing this. If you feel any strain in your back, make sure you have your chest lifted and you're using your legs. Make sure your legs are right over the tops of your feet and you're sitting back. You don't need pressure on your knees. If you feel any pressure, then go ahead and come up and then restart again. You want to make sure you're protecting yourself. We're going to do push-ups where you go side to side. So coming down, I'm going to go at an angle. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to start with my hands almost in a tricep push-up position. So I'm going to open side for regular push-up, bring it in, and then I'm going to go to the other side and bring it in. And then side, bring it in, and then go to the other side and bring it in. So a little extra chest workout. A narrow ski squat pulse. So having the legs together, squeezing everything in. I'm going to come down and not as far, chest lifted, and I'm going to pulse from there. So just like we talked about, you want to have an accent on your pulse. So whether it's up or down, make sure you're squeezing your seat. Right here, I'm squeeze, squeeze, squeeze your seat when you come up. Okay, and then we have tricep pulse, and it says in front of your face. So this is something we do a lot in dance. You're going to have your elbows in front of you. You can clasp your hands. You can have them out here. You're just going to lift, 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 lift. So when you're doing this, you don't want your elbows to drop down here. We're not going from here. You want to have them up as high as you can and thinking up, 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 up. Okay? Okay, we're on day 20. So second plie pulse, and all the pulses right in a row. Okay, back to that wide second plie. You're going to go down as far as you can and squeeze up. Squeeze. So you're squeezing with your seat as you come up from there, okay? So nice pulse right in there. The arms to go along with day 20 is a push-up pulse. Coming down. So with this, I'll let you decide what your arm position is. If you want to do tricep, if you want to do regular push-up. So you're going to come down as far as you can, and you're going to pulse from there. If that's too much, you can pulse from a different position. So you get down into that push-up and you pulse from there. Okay, 21, day 21 is stationary squat into a lunge. So you're going to come down into your squat and you're going to step back and then come back in. Step back, come back in. So nice and wide. Make sure everything is lifted from there, okay? And then come up. The arms are swan-like arms. This is a low exercise. So if you've ever done these arms with me before, you'll know what I'm talking about. So you want to think about leading with your elbows. So you're going to have them nice and slow to the side. You're going to lift up with your elbows and relax back down. Lift up and down. Lift up and down. To make it a little bit harder, you can go higher. But the main thing, your arms are relaxed. This part is relaxed. You want to think elbows up and down. Elbows up and down. Elbows up and down. Good. Lunge pulses. So back to your lunge. Nice and wide. You're going to go down into it and you're going to pulse. Now, I want you to think about the front leg. So do these with me. Think about the front leg. You're squeezing with that leg. I don't want you to think about using this back leg. I want you to think about using the front leg to do the work on your seat. Otherwise, you're going to be squeezing with the quadricep on that front leg. Bent, elbow raised, elbows into your sides, arms bent. You're going to lift up and close in. So you're squeezing your shoulders and in, up and down. This is very similar to the side raises, but with this in, it engages your bicep. Lifting up, relax down, lifting up, and relax down. Guys, we're doing good. So on to day 23, bridge ups with a pulse. So coming back down. So you're going to lift up and you're just going to pulse up from there. Now if you want to make it a little bit harder, you can bring your leg in a little bit, cross the other one over. You can take the leg up and do it. There's lots of modifications that you can do because that may be an easier one because you're not doing your full body weight. So make modifications if you want to on that one. Okay, chest press. And it says dance arms on my notes, so arms are up. So it's like if you're laying back, do chest press there. So arms are up, you're going to bring it in and then open. So squeeze with your pecs, closing it in, squeeze with your shoulders. Chest and shoulders, chest and shoulders. Good. Guys, we're getting there. All right, parallel peddler, alternate heel raises. You can either go to a basic squat position or you can have your feet in. But when you do it, you're basically going to alternate lifting your heels. So you're going to go lift one heel and switch. Lift one heel and switch. Okay? So I'm lifting one, I'm switching, still maintaining your form, lift and switch. Okay? So you're pushing on that. Now when I switch heels, make sure your hips are even. I'm not pushing my weight down because I've seen this happen where people will push into that. So make sure you keep your hip bones, everything nice and level when you do those. All right, bicep curls. Basic bicep curls, just pulling it in and then out. You can do different angles. So just bicep curls, make sure you're actually squeezing those arms. You can take your arms up to the sides if you want, but make sure you're actually using those biceps when you do it. All right, wall squat with alternating lifts. Hopefully I won't slide. Okay, find a nice sturdy wall. You're going to put your feet, you can either have them together or hip width apart, pressing into the wall. I'm going to bring my feet just a little bit in. Your heels are under your knees, and you're going to alternate lifting up. Make sure you're on carpet or you have something that's not going to slide so you don't end up on your seat on the floor. That would not be fun. Okay, let's see. The pulse arms. This one's kind of hard to explain in writing. So you're going to take your arms, bend them in. You're going to pull them slightly behind your back, and you're going to extend them with your palms down and then palms up. You can have them open or you can have them closed. So you're just going to pulse and pulse and pulse. So pulling it slightly behind your back works all of these muscles in there. So if I just pull it into my sides here, that's not really doing much. So if I keep pulling it down and back, that's really going to work all those muscles along your back. All right, side taps. You're going to get into a squat, basic squat. Coming down, you're going to take your leg out to the side and bring it in. Out to the side, bring it in, chest is lifted. Sitting back into that chair. Good. And my hips are nice and even. And then you'll do one side and then the other. Flat hand circle press. So this is another sequence that we've done in dance many times. You're going to take your hands, press them out to the side, and circle them in, press them out. Circle them in, press them out. You can go the other way. Either way is fine. So up and around, push it out, or down and up, push it out. So this is a typical exercise that we do in dance a lot, so pressing it out. Pushing this heel of your palm out really engages the arms, so really think about pushing with the bottom of your palm when you're doing that. Okay, guys, we're almost done. We're going to do lunges. So we did lunges before with alternating legs, but this time you're going to stay on the same leg. So instead of going right, then left, then right and left, you're going to keep that weight on that one foot. Do a tap, go back, do a tap, and go back. Remembering to go backwards. I don't want you going forwards because then you end up using your upper body, and I don't want you to use your legs. Okay, push up with your hands in a diamond. So back to push-ups. Your hands are going to be in front of your chest. They're either from your knees or from the balls of your feet. So hands are in, nice diamond shape. You're going to go down and then press up. So my hands are right in front of my chest. Down and then press up, down, and then pressing up. Good. 3 more days. Get there. Lunge to squat with a pulse. So, or a squat to a lunge. Just a minute ago, we did the lunge, or excuse me, the squat, and then back to a lunge. So with this one, you're going to do a squat, come up, then a lunge, whoo, lost my balance, come up. Squat, come up, and lunge, come up. So that's what you want to do there. Now each one of those isn't going to be one. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not going to be 1, 2, okay? Unless you want to do 200 legs that day. If you want, you can, that's fine. All right, forehead, tricep press. This one feels really kind of funny. If you do it in a gym with weights, people kind of look at you strange. So you're going to have, pretend you have weights. You're going to put the backs of your hands against your forehead, leaning forward, not very much. So leaning forward, you're going to put the palms to the forehead, and you're going to press straight up from there. So if I was standing straight up, my arms would go up, but having that little bit of the angle right there, gravity gives it a little bit more of a workout, okay? So that's what that one is. Guys, we are almost done. Squat with a kickback. Nice, comfortable position. If you want to go a little wider with this, you can. So you're going to go with a squat, and then you're going to lift your leg. Squat, and then lift your leg. If you want to do a bent leg, you can. If you want to do an attitude, you can. That's with the knee coming up. That'll work the outside of your seat. If you want to do even harder or do like an actual kickback, you can do that as well. So do the whatever modifications you want. Arms with this one is downward dog into a dolphin. So coming down, hands and knees. This time you really need to have your hands straight. Don't turn them in, so have them straight. So we're going to come up to kind of a modified downward dog. And make sure you're pressing with the palms of your, or excuse me, around this part of your hand, not there. Don't put the pressure into your wrist. So coming up, you're going to drop your elbows and then come up. Drop your elbows and then come up. Drop your elbows and then come up. And I'm sure my face is going to be red when I come up on that one. Guys, we're almost done. You're going to do the squat with the knee up. So we just did a squat with a kick back. We're going to do a squat with the knee up. So you're going to squat down, basic squat, coming down. You're going to lift one leg and then squat, lift the other leg. If you want to do a little bit of an inner thigh workout, you can do an inside attitude or a front devant attitude. So plie, lift the heel. Plie, yes, I know my foot is flexed. You know the pointed foot, or just lift straight up from there. The arms is bent over alternate tricep press. So you're going to take, if you're standing, your arms are basically going to go over your head and then switch. So my elbows are coming in, crossing the center line, and I'm going here. I'm not going out to the sides. I'm coming in, so I have that tricep press, okay? So we're going to bend over, take your arms in. One arm is going to go over your head. The other arm is going to go back, and then switch, and then switch. Good. Now, one alternative you can do with the legs is a chair squat. So I'm going to use this bench. I know it's not very low compared to a chair, but you can do squats from there. So you actually put your weight into it and then press up. So this is actually harder than a squat. You can do one leg where you're here coming up, or you can either do it with a figure 4. So if you want a little bit more of a challenge with any of those, you can add those on. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you for the workout.